The Imcando Hatchet takes a long time to get, so how much better is it compared to the Crystal Hatchet? Let's find out, so whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. For those unfamiliar with the process of obtaining these hatchets, let's start by talking about that first. The Crystal Hatchet can be obtained after completing the Plague's End quest, which requires level 75 woodcutting amongst many other stats. To create a Crystal Hatchet, you will need a Dragon Hatchet and 4000 Harmonic Dust, a special type of dust traditionally obtained by training at Elf City Harps, but can also be obtained from the Motherlode Maw or Traveling Merchant Store. The process of creating a Crystal Hatchet at Lady Ithelm Priv is reversible, but you will not be able to get back your Harmonic Dust if you do. If you have the Crystal Hatchet on your tool belt, you are able to remove it by speaking to the Invention Guild Doc once. The Imcando Hatchet is a level 80 woodcutting hatchet that can be obtained after constructing the Tier 3 Grove Cabin building at Fort Firenfree, which requires a couple of short quests, including the Unwelcome Guests quest. After constructing the Tier 3 cabin, you'll be able to obtain 4 different Imcando pieces, one of which you can get for absolutely free by speaking to the Oak NPC. These fragments are obtained through getting a special type of bird's nest, and your odds of obtaining any type of bird's nest, including the ones with Imcando pieces, can be increased by multiple items, but the biggest increase by far comes from using a tree-shaking scrimshaw. After obtaining all 4 fragments, bring those alongside a Redberry Pie, 1 million coins, and a Dragon Hatchet to the Thurgo NPC at Mudskipper Point to get your very own Imcando Hatchet. Now you're probably wondering why you're staring at a clip of a dragon. Well, that's today's sponsor, Call of Dragons. Call of Dragons is a free-to-play MMO fantasy conquest game developed by the creators of Rise of Kingdoms. At the core, Call of Dragons is a 4X strategy game with MMORPG elements. Command and grow your village as an elf, mage, or orc to then fight both player and monster. This mist-filled map can be explored by using scouts, and if lucky, you might just come across a behemoth. These powerful beasts can be tamed once conquered to then be used in battle to give you and your alliance the edge over your opponents. It isn't all about numbers though. Tactical skills are important too as you fight opponents in real time, so be sure to use different elevations and units to your advantage. So what are you waiting for? Tame those 8 behemoths and become the Beastmaster today. Download Call of Dragons on PC and mobile by using my link in the description below, or scan the QR code on screen, and once in game use the code CODMONSTER to get a massive boost. The first thing I tried with my Imcando Hatchet was to compare it to the Crystal Hatchet at 3 core tree training methods, being Magic, Elder, and Crystal trees. The only buff in terms of woodcutting success rate I was using during this test was a lonely Honed 6 invention perk on both the Crystal and Imcando Hatchet. Let's start off with the lowest of the 3, being the Magic tree at level 80 woodcutting. Using the Crystal Hatchet with the Honed 6 perk, I was able to gain around 88,000 experience per hour. With the Imcando Hatchet, I was able to gain a huge amount more at over 120,000 experience per hour. Now I kid you not, I did not expect the Imcando Hatchet to make such a big difference on the XP per hour. The Imcando Hatchet in this case gave me nearly 37.5% more experience per hour than the Crystal Hatchet. This trend did not, however, continue throughout the higher level trees. At Elder trees, which require level 90 woodcutting and allow you to chop them for about 5 minutes before you need to teleport to a different location, I was only getting around 86,700 experience per hour with the Crystal Hatchet and nearly 97,000 experience per hour using the Imcando Hatchet. That's a difference of nearly 12%. Still a big difference, but not as big as the difference at Magic trees. The difference was definitely noticeable, and because you don't get that many logs per hour when chopping Elder trees, there were times where I was chopping for 10-15 seconds, didn't get a log, and then the Elder tree expired. So there's that. Now, a random tip: if you're going to be doing Elder trees and you do not have the Nature Sentinel outfit for teleports, use the Superior Locator item created at level 81 Invention, in case you have 81 Invention, to teleport to a random Elder tree. Very useful, and it speeds up training. Next up, at level 94 woodcutting, we have the Crystal tree, where I was still able to obtain a substantial 138,000 plus woodcutting experience per hour using the crystal hatchet with no other boosts, and with the Imcando Hatchet I was able to get 149,000 experience per hour, or about a 7.5% increase. So in this specific setting and test, it seems that the higher tier of tree we're chopping, the lower the increase from this hatchet really is. Let's continue with some more tests, except this time we will have a higher total woodcutting success rate increase by using the Supreme Lumberjack aura, our existing hatchet with Hone 6, and the Nature Sentinel outfit. This time, the difference between the Crystal and Imcando Hatchet at Magic Trees seemed to be way lower. At Elder Trees, the difference wasn't even noticeable. Sure, I got a little bit more experience, but that might have been a log or two more at 1 or 2 tree locations, and that's it. The difference between the Crystal Hatchet and Imcando Hatchet at Elder Trees, at least in this test, was basically non-existent. You wouldn't really be gaining more experience per hour with the Imcando Hatchet. Very strange and unexpected. At Crystal Trees, on the other hand, the Imcando Hatchet started to pull its weight again, as I was able to gain 12% more experience per hour than with the Crystal Hatchet and the same setup. And this is about what I would expect to see at every single tree type, about a 10 to 15% increase, but that isn't the case. Now at Golden Bamboo, and yes I tried Golden Bamboo, the first time I tried for about a 20 to 25 minute session, I got less experience per hour than the XP rates I tested with my Crystal Hatchet setup. Very strange. As of recording this video, the Golden Bamboo rates still need to be adjusted, but I believe Mod Shogun, who was talking about it on Twitter. It's weird. The second time round, I was able to get 10.4% more experience per hour using the Imcando Hatchet, which seems more like it. Let's just go ahead and say it's 10% better at Golden Bamboo. So what about Crystallize? Well, in a previous video covering the new woodcutting XP rates, we already established what trees are better than others when using Crystallize. The current meta isn't Crystallize Acadias any longer, and in that video we established that if you increase your woodcutting success rate, crystallizing higher tier trees will be better than lower tier trees up to a certain point, due to your success rate exceeding 100% at certain lower tier trees, with them giving less XP per log. Now, while I'm aware that a perfect Juju woodcutting potion and fire torch increase XP per hour massively, for consistency's sake, I'm simply sticking to the 29% success rate increase. The current meta for Crystallize is Crystallize Mahogany trees unless you're doing something during a Voice of Seren hour, which I'll be talking about in just a second. Crystallize Mahogany was around 270,000 experience per hour before, and with an Imcando Hatchet, you're able to push nearly 280,000 base XP per hour. That's around 3.6% better than with the Crystal Hatchet. A small but definite increase. Now, in my previous video, people were curious about the XP rates using an Imcando Hatchet over a Crystal Hatchet when doing Crystallized use. And while close, Crystallized Mahogany still seems to be the better method for XP per hour, unless there's a Voice of Seren active that affects the Cryowiz district, as then when you're chopping Yews inside El City, you gain plus 20% base woodcutting XP per hour, which would actually make Crystallized Yews the best method in the game. Excluding dailies, divine locations, and all that yabba yabba yabba. The difference between the Imcando Hatchet and Crystal Hatchet when doing Crystallized Use is massive at over 33%. Actually insane. Oh, and in case you're wondering, no, having the Imcando Hatchet still doesn't make crystallized magic trees better than yew trees. So what's the conclusion here? Well, I'd say that the Imcando Hatchet is roughly 10% better than the Crystal Hatchet across the board. You could try a dozen different setups and trees, but that's my guesstimate. The best thing about this item is that I don't really need to tell you if it's worth it or not, because it's an item that you obtain passively while chopping logs for, let's say, 10 to 20 hours, as long as you have that tier 3 grove cabin. Sure, it takes much longer to obtain than the Crystal Hatchet, which takes closer to 5 or less hours when taking advantage of the traveling merchant, but this is the best install hatchet we have in the game right now. If you get that construction training in early and you use your boosts, you could have this hatchet before you hit level 99 woodcutting, so in a sense, it's similar to skilling outfits made with invention, where you don't really get enough fragments to get a complete outfit until your very last few levels. If you're going for 120, you want to get this hatchet as early as possible, as it could save you dozens of hours of your life. But with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like down below, and a thank you to Call of Dragons for sponsoring this video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.